Babysitter's Club.
Do we have a show for you today?
I just said, welp, we're here to discuss what might be the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
I don't think it's the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's a significant downgrade from what I thought when I was a teenager.
I'm shocked, actually, because I think I suggested it.
Maybe. whoever is culpable for this, it's lost to time.
Well, I'm Erin.
I'm Tom.
And this is Baby's First Watch List, the podcast where I now feel like Icarus, who has flown way too close to the Adam Sandler sun.
Yeah.
And I thought I was avoiding it. I never saw Jack and Jill. I never saw That's My Boy. Nope. Turns out.
So there's an Adam Sandler podcast or something or blog or something.
That's great.
That said that of his worst movies, this one's the best one.
The best of the worst.
Best of the worst.
Yeah.
It's like the Adam Sandler castle or the Adam Sandler like dumpster or something like that. And this one's in the dumpster.
Best of the worst.
But it's the top one in the dumpster.
That's interesting.
Because this is a horrible movie.
It's pretty bad. Today we're talking about the 2002 animated film 8 Crazy Nights. Wikipedia.
Woo!
Yeah. Oh, woo! Whitey. Right? What's Whitey's last name?
Duval.
I was going to say Bulger. Imagine if Whitey Bulger was in this.
It's a Black Mass crossover.
Wikipedia calls 8 Crazy Nights an adult animated musical comedy drama, which is somehow exactly correct.
100%
and
correct.
Also making the movie seem much more complex than it
100% correct.
But it's not wrong.
All of those words are accurate.
It is absolutely an adult animated musical comedy drama. Directed by Seth Kearsley, who does not have a Wikipedia page, but does have an IMDb page. He did the Kingdom Hearts TV movie in 2003.
I have played the Kingdom Hearts games. I had no idea that there was a TV movie.
Yeah, Seth Kearsley. He also,
if it was as good as this,
he's also a part of like the art department in a lot of movies. He's known for The Secret Life of Pets. And
was he involved with Iron Giant at all?
I don't think so.
We'll probably get to that. This was a lot of the team that worked on Iron Giant.
Yeah, I don't know. But he on Rotten Tomatoes, you know how it's like best movie, worst movie. 8 Crazy Nights is both his best and worst movie. It also somehow had 4 writers, including Adam Sandler, who was its star.
Alan Covert one of them?
Huh?
Alan Covert one of them?
Maybe.
Because he's one of his guys that's in all of his movies.
I think it might be, actually. Yeah. In addition to Sandler, who in this is in...
I think Alan Covert's the guy who starred in Grandma's Boy.
It is. That's him. Yes, he is the only other one with a Wikipedia page.
Yep.
So, this is Adam Sandler's first voice acting role. His only one until...
Hotel Transylvania?
Mm-hmm.
He did another one, didn't he?
Hotel Transylvania 2.
Well, yeah, 3.
3 and
he wasn't in
4.
the latest one, right? Was the latest one
no,
4?
I don't think he was in the latest one.
There's another. I read this. There was one other animated movie he was in too that was like a franchise.
Apparently, this is the only traditionally animated one.
Right.
So, it also stars his future wife, Jackie Titone.
I just wrote Jackie Sandler because I don't know how to pronounce it.
And Rob Schneider. So the star power is real here.
Schneider in this movie.
As I know, he also narrates it.
I thought that was Adam Sandler that was narrating.
It's not. So at a slight 76-minute runtime, this movie felt like it was 53 hours, which coincidentally is the amount of hours I was in labor.
I thought you were going to say the amount of hours in 8 Crazy Nights.
No.
This is 76 minutes that we could have been watching The White Lotus instead.
I know. It really could have been. Sorry, Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh, man.
It's
okay. We have her prayer candle.
We do.
Going,
we're good.
So
8 Crazy Nights was not a success commercially or critically. It has a svelte 12% on Rotten Tomatoes. I tried to think of like a positive adjective. Svelte. And Rotten Tomatoes, you know how they
I would say an astounding 12%.
Astounding. Well, you know how Rotten Tomatoes does the like consensus?
Yeah.
They called it nauseating.
A nauseating concoction.
That's it.
Yeah, I read that.
It made $23.8 million on a $34 million budget, so it lost money.
A bomb. That's a bomb.
It didn't do well. Now, this would normally be the segment where I talk about awards it won and things like that. Adam Sandler did win a 2003 Kids' Choice Award for Best Voice from an Animated Movie. And
That's honestly impressive.
It's pretty good.
Wasn't Shrek the year before? No, it's 2001.
Yeah, but still, just off the heels of Shrek.
Right.
And it also, he was nominated for a Razzie.
Yeah, of
for
course.
this.
Of course.
He was nominated for 2 Razzies this year for this and Mr. Deeds.
Was he nominated for the Razzie for this movie or for actor?
I think actor.
For Whitey? Had to be for Whitey.
I think it's just an overall Adam Sandler
because I
nauseating
think
concoction.
Because for Jack and Jill, he got nominated for both roles
as separate nominations.
As for actor and actress.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty good. So honestly, like, that's what I have.
I have a surprisingly detailed plot summary.
Okay, I don't know if I thought what was going on here.
I doubt it.
I don't know why. I thought it was going to be okay.
I honestly thought it was going to be okay too. I am sorely mistaken.
Like, I've been watching these Adam Sandler movies, and okay, so like, if you don't know my history with Adam Sandler,
the Sandlerpedia of Aaron's life.
You know, I grew up not liking Adam Sandler except for the Drew Barrymore movies. Okay, then
which are Wedding Singer, 50 First Dates.
Yeah, I don't count Blended.
Okay,
and then I only go canon, Tom. And then Tom made me watch Big Daddy, and I really liked it. And
Big Daddy's great.
I thought to myself, like, I have to normalize it being okay to change your mind on things and change your opinion, you know?
We're big proponents of that.
That's just a big thing in our lives, and not doing that would be a bit of a technical foul.
Yes.
So then I watched other ones like Billy Madison.
Grown Ups.
And I enjoyed them. I really became an Adam Sandler. Uncut Gems.
You haven't seen Happy Gilmore yet, right?
Not yet, but I will.
Did you? We watched.
I will not watch Little Nicky.
I'm from the
or
South.
Jack and Jill, or That's My Boy.
I'm from the South, the deep South.
Stupid. What?
I have a comment about Little Nicky later.
Okay. But I thought that 8 Crazy Nights was going to be cute and fun and flirty, and it was not.
I think that you are not alone in that.
I'm disappointed, I think.
I think that people who went to see this in theaters were probably like, I thought this was going to be, because it's marketed and it looks like it's in the vein of like a classic holiday Christmas special.
Right. But for Hanukkah.
Right.
And I love that.
But
I think that's an amazing idea.
But it's also like one of the meanest spirited movies I've ever watched.
It's truly gross.
Yeah.
And it's not that funny, although I did chuckle a couple
There
times.
are a couple funny moments. And Technical Foul, the song is a classic. But this movie is pure uncut Adam Sandler. For worse. Not for better or worse, for worse.
For worse. Yeah.
It's animated, so I feel that he and his team of his cadre of writers had no sympathy towards anybody because it's just cartoons and animation.
Right.
And I think that worked to the movie's detriment. I think it was a poorly planned out idea, poorly executed.
Yeah. Well,
you want to hear about it?
Yeah, let's hear about it too.
All right. So this plot summary is relatively extensive for what I thought the movie was about.
Yeah, I was like, when we were 48 hours into the movie, I looked
in the
it
first
up
act.
to be like, okay, how far are we? And I'm like, this is a long Wikipedia summary. We're not even close to halfway.
A lot of times I have to go on like the IMDb plot summary to sort of fill in the holes.
Yeah.
There were no holes to be filled in here.
Someone really took their time to go into detail.
More effort was spent.
Of 8 Crazy Nights.
More effort was spent on the plot summary of 8 Crazy Nights on Wikipedia than the screenplay of 8 Crazy Nights.
Well, if you split it 4 ways, yeah, you're probably right.
Right. Exactly. How do you know how many people worked on the Wikipedia page, though? There's a log of it, but I haven't looked.
That's true. We should look at it.
Absolutely. Anyway, there is a lot of culturally offensive stuff in this movie. There is a lot of ableism. There is ageism. There is homophobia.
Racism, transphobia. It's a mess.
It runs the gamut.
It's a mess.
Anything I am describing in this plot summary is simply a description of the plot and is not an endorsement of the views that it provides. This is my lawyer.
Awful.
This is my lawyer disclaimer before I go through this.
Yeah, it's truly an offensive movie.
It's truly in the purest form of the word offensive.
It really is.
Okay, so we begin in December 2002 in the small town of Dukesbury, New Hampshire.
Is that a real town? Do you know?
No, it's not. Where Davy Stone, Adam Sandler, is eating at a Chinese restaurant where the owner is racistly played by Rob Schneider, like doing a stereotypical
really bad.
It's
really
not
bad.
good. Davy is and this guy pops up throughout the movie too. Like it's really bad. They couldn't just let it. Like they did the one scene and then they had to have him keep popping up.
They thought it was funny.
Yes.
It wasn't funny.
Davy is a 33-year-old Jewish alcoholic troublemaker whose criminal record has made him a pariah in the Dukesbury community.
Where's his Hinge profile?
Exactly. When Davy dine and dashes at the restaurant, ooh, that was alliteration. He tries to evade arrest, and as he's doing so, he steals a snowmobile and destroys some ice sculptures before he's ultimately apprehended. At Davy's absolutely nonsensical trial, Whitey Duvall, also voiced by Sandler,
I did not know that until like way too far in.
He's a 69-year-old, of course, volunteer referee from Davy's former basketball league, and he pleads with the judge to allow Davy into his custody for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Because he wanted to make him his reclamation project.
Okay, but I don't know why the judge agreed to it.
I wrote, the judge, for some reason, listens and sentences Davy to community service as a referee in training for Whitey's youth basketball league. And if Davy fails to complete the community service and he commits a crime before his sentence ends, he will serve 10 years in prison. So the alternatives are be a referee in a basketball league or do 10 years in prison.
Decade behind bars.
For like disorderly persons and like breaking a couple ice sculptures.
Yeah. Yeah, it's harsh.
Listen, I'm not going to...
Very harsh. We don't need to get into
I'm not doing a legal analysis of
and,
a crazy
Yeah,
notes.
we're not going into a criticism of the prison system for today's episode, at
Correct.
least.
We will wait until Paddington 2 for that one.
That's right. That is right.
So the next day, Davy has his first game, but he is obviously not into the idea of refereeing or being stuck with Whitey, which to me makes no sense because it's either that or go to jail for 10 years. Just freaking do the time.
I just think Davy's just vibing.
He is vibing.
It's a bad vibe.
It's a bad vibe. Good vibes, bad vibes. Davy, bad vibes. So he continuously torments an overweight player to the point of crying.
Yeah, that was bad.
The game is halted when Whitey suffers a seizure, which is a sentence that comes after my previous sentence, and it's just like, why are these things happening?
Mm-hmm.
Davy forfeits the game to one team because he wanted to make the obese player on the losing team cry.
Mean.
So these are 3 sentences in a row of like the meanest things I've ever heard.
Yeah. Not a good person.
After Whitey recovers from his seizure, they happen often, so it's fine. He brings Davy to the mall where he meets Davy's childhood friend Jennifer Friedman, played by Jackie Sandler, eventually, and her son Benjamin, who is played by Austin Stout, who doesn't have a Wikipedia page. Jennifer is now a divorced single mom who is working at the mall after her ex-husband left her for a woman he met online. Whitey tells Davy that he lost his chance with Jennifer when they were kids, but Davy still secretly has feelings for her. Davy and Whitey are at odds, to say the least. When Davy shoplifts peanut brittle, Whitey lets him off the hook, but vows to tell the judge if Davy commits one more crime. Oh, I didn't really introduce this, but Whitey's voice is, if you haven't seen the movie, is like Adam Sandler's voice if it was also the sound of nails on a chalkboard.
I am not joking. This is not an exaggeration. It is not a joke. I had a splitting headache when this movie was over. And the first time it hurt was when Whitey started speaking. It was truly the most physically debilitating movie experience.
I don't know why he chose to do that because you're supposed to identify with Whitey.
It was worse apparently, and they made it like they edited it to make it like lower an octave because it was higher and more annoying originally.
You look up Whitey's voice.
I think that it's supposed to be an homage to his voice in the Hanukkah song. Where it's like
but it's an entire character of it.
Yeah, well,
who's a main character in the movie.
Let's face it, there were some creative choices that I didn't agree with.
We are also... Okay, I'm going to continue with the plot summary. I'll get to this later. Whitey continues to try to get through to Davy, but Davy resists in honestly the most mean-spirited ways possible, including with humiliation and assault,
Yeah.
knocking Whitey into a porta potty and covering him head to toe in human feces.
Yeah, that was not good.
Later, Davy also, remember how Whitey gets clean?
Does he have like deer lick?
The deer lick, the reindeer lick. The
Can I
feces
tell you,
off
I
him.
did not know that, but I'm just going off of like, the vibe of the movie. Yeah, I figured. Deer are like my favorite animal too, besides.
They're Whiteys too.
Oh, God.
Later, Davy bonds with Benjamin, who again is Jennifer's kid, while they're playing basketball at the community center with two like pretty older men that are good at basketball. But when Benjamin curses at the men after they beat them, Jennifer shows up and scolds him for swearing. She also reprimands Davy for his actions and says that she doesn't want her son ending up like him.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, come on. While Jennifer and Davy drive to their respective homes, they sing about their happy childhood and how much things have changed.
Okay, this is also like 10 minutes into the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like we've got like an hour left.
Yeah. When Davy gets home, one of the men who lost the basketball game to him and Benjamin is burning down his trailer. Davy runs into the trailer and grabs an envelope containing a Hanukkah card from his late parents. Whitey allows Davy to stay in his home, and Davy reluctantly accepts. Living in Whitey's home is his diabetic twin sister, Eleanor, also Sandler.
That did not sound like Adam Sandler.
Eleanor?
Yeah.
She talks like this. She talks like an old lady.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah, she's great. And the pair explain their complex rules, stating that Davy will have to leave if he doesn't follow them.
Mm-hmm.
The song Technical Foul. Davy seemingly makes progress and starts to turn his life around, but one day, while out with Whitey and Eleanor, Whitey recalls the story in 1982 when Davy's parents were killed in a car accident on the way to Davy's basketball game. Devastated by the loss of his parents and jumping between foster homes, Davy turned to alcohol and petty crime, isolating himself from Jennifer and his other friends. At this point, Davy loses his temper and insults both Whitey and Eleanor, which results in Whitey kicking Davy out of his house. Which, I mean, Whitey just randomly brought this up. Like, if I was Davy, I'd be like, I don't want to hear any of this. Like, what are you doing,
I kind of
Whitey?
see both sides though, because like if I got covered in poop,
That is true.
I'd be like, yeah, well,
But
I don't like that.
But Whitey's not a vengeful person.
No.
You know?
His 2 feet are like 75 sizes
Yeah.
apart.
Yeah. It's,
Like
his
one's
one
like
side is
an
like
adult
a
11
9 kids
and a
on the other
kid's
side.
9.
Yes.
Ugh.
And also he's covered like head to
in
toe
white
in white
fur.
hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was even in like the high school scene when he was in high school. Davy continues to drink throughout the day and he breaks into the closed mall. In his drunken stupor, he imagines the logos of various stores coming to life and confronting him about not being able to grieve for his parents, attempting to get him to cry.
Do you think that's like a Christmas Carol reference? Like when
Probably.
Scrooge is like the ghosts visit him?
Yeah,
kinda thing?
probably.
Okay.
Also, they didn't pay for any of that product placement.
They didn't?
No.
Like all the reviews are like so much product placement,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
They didn't pay for
They
any of
just
it.
did it.
They just did it. It was like Foot Locker, GNC. There was like a whole bunch
Victoria's
of...
Secret. Yeah.
There was like a Sir Speedy in there or something.
Yeah.
Davy finally opens his parents' Hanukkah card, and it contains a heartfelt message praising him for being a good son and asking him to never change.
Aw.
Davy finally cries, but 2 police officers come to arrest him. After escaping, Davy ends up on a bus to New York City, which breaks down just before leaving town. Davy takes this as a sign of the miracle of Hanukkah, which is not explained at all, and leaves, intending to find Whitey and make amends with him. Davy finds Whitey at the All-Star Banquet, an annual town celebration in which one member of the community is recognized for positive contributions and given the Dukesbury All-Star Patch, which Whitey has wanted for 35 years.
Never won it.
When Whitey is passed over for seemingly the final time, with the award given to the hook-handed Tom Baltazar, played by John Lovitz,
Yeah, why is it the final time though?
because he decides to move to Florida and live life in anonymity.
There you go.
Risking arrest, Davy enters the hall and sings of Whitey's many selfless contributions to Dukesbury throughout his life, causing the townspeople to realize the errors of their ways. Davy leads them to Whitey at the mall, and the townspeople thank him for his service, with the mayor granting him the patch. All 34 previous recipients of the award give theirs to Whitey.
They like throw it from the top part of
Here,
the mall.
take number 34.
It's very strange.
Davy and Jennifer reconcile, and the movie ends with, you guessed it, one more Whitey seizure, which he calls the happiest seizure of his life.
It's just not funny.
End credits.
That's
And
just mean.
that's Eight Crazy Nights.
That's Eight Crazy Nights.
I blew past a lot of the side stuff that happens in this movie.
The deer's pooping.
Yeah.
Eleanor's whole wig story.
Eleanor's wig storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think you didn't capture the deep thematic themes of this movie.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know what to say.
So my first question I wrote before I watched this movie, because if I had watched it, I would have realized that the movie has nothing to do with the song on which it is based.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote, what's a holiday song you'd like to see made into an animated movie? There is one correct answer.
And we talked about this off mic, and I think I guessed the answer.
What's the answer?
The answer is the Monster Mash.
The answer is the Monster Mash.
The Monster Mash needs to be a movie. Adam Sandler could even be. There's vampires in it, right? I don't know if Count Dracula's in it, but he played the vampire in the dad vampire in Hotel Transylvania.
Yes.
Is that Dracula?
Sure.
I've never seen Hotel Transylvania.
I don't know. I don't know. I just know they go to a water park or on a cruise.
I think it's
like
cruise.
that.
I think it's a cruise. we gotta watch all the Hotel Transylvanias.
Definitely. All I know is Monster Mash is now one of the name of one of our burp cloths, because just like blankets, we name our burp cloths.
Oh, I thought that's what it was called. Like the product.
It is the
name of the
fabric
product is
the
called
Monster Mash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we didn't just make that up.
No, but it makes me.
But nobody
happy.
calls it the Monster Mash.
No, nobody calls it Monster Mash.
Oh man.
Yes, Monster Mash is the correct answer.
Are there any others?
Maybe Christmas Shoes. Have you ever heard that song?
What?
Sir, I wanna buy these shoes for my mama, please. It's basically this story about a guy's going like shoe shopping at like Payless before Christmas. It's Christmas Eve, right? And he's like in line, and there's this little boy who, oh my goodness, his clothes are so raggedy and he's so poor. And he says, "Sir, I want to
Like
buy
Oliver
these
Twist?
shoes. My mom's dying of cancer, and I want her to look pretty if she meets Jesus tonight."
Why would I want to watch this movie?
And then the guy's like, "I cried and I paid for those shoes." And then it's a kids choir, and it's like, "Sir, I want to buy these shoes for my mama, please." And it's like,
Are you having
and
a
then
fever dream? I've never heard this
cuts
song.
out, and he goes, "I want mama to look beautiful if mama meets Jesus tonight." They actually made it into a Lifetime movie.
Oh, so it doesn't qualify for this question.
Animated movie. I want it to be animated.
Okay.
And it's just going to be like the saddest Christmas movie ever made.
This is one of the worst ideas I've ever heard.
You've never heard of Christmas Shoes?
No.
I used to. Okay, the first time I heard it, I was like, it was like on the radio, and I was in the back of the car because I always chose the back left corner of the minivan, like by myself. I was like sobbing. Sobbing. It is like you know how there's some movies or shows that are meant to make you cry but like aren't actually emotional, and they're just like, "Hey, you better cry at this."
This is kind of that kind of movie.
Yeah, Eight Crazy Nights is the perfect example of like they're trying to shoehorn emotion into it.
Yeah, they had to make like the most awful thing happen to Davey.
Yeah,
to
it's
make
not.
him just
It's like, oh yeah, his parents died at the most pivotal point in his life.
Yeah.
Same with Christmas Shoes.
We just got we just got a text from Manon, who's doing our camera work. He said, "WTF is she talking about? I do not know that song."
All right, well, you know what? Everybody, go and listen to the Christmas Shoes. I do not know who sings it.
I'll put a link in the description.
And maybe watch the Lifetime movie. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. We're not gonna do the Lifetime movie on here.
No. What?
Well, it depends how long the podcast goes.
Do you have another holiday song that you think would be good for an animated movie? Don't say Alvin and the Chipmunks Christmas song, because that's
Why?
already an animated show.
Is the Christmas song an animated show? Is it
I'm
like
sure it's
when he says "I want a hula hoop"? Is that in a
hula hoop? Actually, that sounds like Adam Sandler would sing that. Yeah, I'm sure it's part of one of the animated ones.
I don't really have any others off the top of my head.
Okay.
What about like what if we just did like the Trans-Siberian Orchestra Sarajevo song?
That sounds great.
Yeah, we'll do that one. We can make it into like a Fantasia kind of thing.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Perfect. So there's a scene near the beginning at the mall food court where Whitey gets, do you know what meal he gets?
No, I actually didn't write anything down about the food because I forgot.
He gets spaghetti, meatballs, and French fries.
From where?
There was they actually had a name. It was like an Italian place.
That is great.
What would you get at a mall food court when you used to go to the mall?
Well, that was when hold on, I have to let April out.
Bye. So wait a minute. I want to come
She's
back.
going to be back in approximately 2 seconds. The one that I used to go to in Menlo Park Mall.
Yeah,
in
that
Edison,
was a good one.
Edison, wherever it is. Islin. I used to go to the Chick-fil-A mostly.
That's where one of our first dates was.
Yeah.
We paid like $3. I got a fruit punch and French fries, waffle fries.
Yep. Cheap date.
I am a cheap date. And remember one of our other first dates was at a TGI Fridays.
Yes.
And then the
we got
fire
it for
alarms
free
went
'cause
off.
the fire
And
alarm
then
went off.
the waitress that I went to high school with was like, just go. And I was like, thank you.
We were like waiting for the check.
Yeah, we were. And she was like, literally just go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our first like couple dates were like the total was like $3.
We just bought a $1,000 Microsoft Surface Pro the other day, so
It
things have
evens
gotten
out.
have gotten a little bit more expensive.
All right, so Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Mine is Annie Ann's. I would get like the
Yeah, you
oh,
know,
that lemonade tart.
my thing with Annie Ann's is I can't have more than like 2 bites of anything I get
With
from
the
there.
cheese sauce, and then you dip it in.
I've also never been a huge like soft pretzel person.
mad buttery though. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. There's always remember that tea place that was in that food court?
David's Tea.
Yeah,
That was good stuff.
that was a good
I
place.
actually really like that.
Yeah, I would do like the Taco Bell in there or Wendy's.
Yeah. What about Sbarro?
Nah, hell no.
No Sbarro.
No.
I liked Sbarro because I never ate like I don't eat meat, so like I couldn't go
The-
to like the Chinese
The
place.
local
or
pizzeria,
the,
Sbarro. What is that? What does Michael Scott say?
Yeah, my favorite local pizza joint, Sbarro.
Pizza joint. That's it. Yes.
Okay.
Well, what I will say about that mall scene is that Sandler had his pulse on what was going out of favor, because everything that you see in that mall scene is like a laundry list of outdated garbage. It's like
Yes.
it's like Radio Shack, like all
Yeah.
these things that like don't exist anymore. And the whole point of Whitey is that he's like stuck in the past.
Yeah.
And it's like it's like a prescient little
That's beautiful.
like thing that Sandler actually got right here. He actually,
Is this movie like deep?
yes, exactly. A broken clock is right twice a day kind of thing.
Meanwhile, I wrote the Whitey voice has to be the most annoying voice I've ever heard. Is that Sandler?
I can't imagine. So like I obviously had seen this movie when I was a teenager. I couldn't imagine what it would be like hearing it for the first time right now.
It was jarring.
And you didn't know about it.
No. I didn't know a single thing about this movie. I thought it was like a really all right, I knew it was animated. I knew that it was like an adult animated thing, which, you know, I have always been anti-adult animation, but I've softened to it over the years. I like Bob's Burgers, like, you know, like okay. But
I love adult animation.
I did not know anything else really. And I was incredulous the entire movie.
Yeah, it's not good.
No. I did say, okay, Eleanor is kind of funny.
Eleanor's great.
She was kind of funny. But I did put here, the animation is actually beautiful.
It's the Iron Giant team, a lot of them. They were laid off from was it Warner Brothers or something? Whoever made Iron Giant, which I actually just watched for the first time like last week.
I've never seen it.
It is awesome.
Yeah, I heard people love it.
Yeah, I would recommend that to anybody who has not seen it. And I'm sure that everybody who has seen it is like, yeah, of course it's awesome.
Well, 8 Crazy Nights was really, really gorgeous.
The animation is great.
That's
That's part of why I thought the movie was good. Like when we were talking about it,
Yeah.
because I remember I think of it in my head and I'm like, oh, it's really smooth, it's clean, it's
And it is.
yeah, the colors pop. Like
I said, can you think of another movie?
when the poop is coming out of the reindeer's butt.
Oh, yeah. So I really actually thought it was beautiful to watch and to look at. Like literally if my brain was turned off, but my eyes still worked. So, can you think of another movie where there's one good element and the rest is absolute trash?
I think we've mentioned this on prior episodes, but if you look at the Best Actress nominations at the Oscars, a lot of times the performance is great, the movie's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, think about like Renee Zellweger and Judy.
And I kind of like Judy.
Okay, I didn't. But just think about movies like that where, you know,
the performance is good.
They're the
rest
star.
is
They're
bad.
there. You're there for, you know, Renee Zellweger, or it's just as an example. And, you know, the rest of it, you can take it or leave it. Do you have any?
I mean, I kind of was thinking like, okay, what was like the worst movie I've seen in a while? And I thought about The Reader.
Oh, my.
Which is one of the most offensive movies I've ever seen.
Offensive in a different way.
Very different way.
Than 8 Crazy Nights is offensive.
The Reader, if you have never seen it, is 2009, which...
Was it that late?
I think so. I have a thing, too, where I always think that the last year of a decade is always an excellent year for movies. Maybe it was 2008.
It was 2008.
Okay, good.
Because 2009 was the year with like District 9 and like those movies, which was better in my opinion.
I always that's a kind of a hill I'll die on, is that the last year of every decade of movies, at least the past 3.
What about 99? What was 99?
99, there's a whole book about it.
Oh yeah, I actually have the book.
Yes.
Yeah.
And 2019 I think is the best year for movies ever. Ever, ever, ever. I also like 1975, but that's completely different. So
see, when I think of the worst movies I've ever seen, I think of like epic movie, a date movie.
Yeah, I don't know if I count those as movies.
Their movies are in the movies in the name.
Technically, they're movies.
Yeah, they're films.
So what? Prestigious. So what is something?
There's nothing good in those movies.
No.
Nothing. We're having trouble with this.
Yeah. What is a movie where there's one thing that's like really, really good?
Does the rest of it have to be awful, or can the rest of it be
I
like?
kind of like
meh?
if the rest of it's really bad.
Oh, what about In the Room? The performance of Chris-R.
Yeah, that's good. So The Room is a 2003 drama. I don't know.
Adult animated musical comedy drama. No,
yeah, it's
no.
something weird. And so basically, it's the worst movie ever made. Is what it's supposed to
I'm
be.
sure you've heard of The Room if you haven't seen
and
it.
it's just a guy who thinks that his wife is having an affair with his best friend.
Yes.
Or soon to be wife.
Supposed to be like a Streetcar Named Desire.
Almost like a Tennessee Williams thing. And it's truly awful.
It's
but
awful.
As the years go by,
we are convinced that it's a good
actually
movie.
very good.
Yes.
But the acting's truly awful in it.
Horrendous.
Except for Chris-R.
Who is a character.
Who is just a very, very minor character.
Where's my money, Denny? You got my money?
He's excellent.
He is.
He's excellent.
Yes.
That's a perfect example, Tom.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that.
That's my example.
Okay. So I gotta be careful because I forgot to get rid of the Christmas shoe. So if I accidentally don't screen it, it's gonna start playing.
Wait, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Can you rank the Sandler voices in this movie? It's Davey, Whitey, and Eleanor.
Davey is the best because he's normal. Then Eleanor, because I didn't realize it was Sandler. And then it's just 50 steps down, and then Whitey.
That's a technical foul.
Whitey's voice is. I was I think that I malfunctioned.
I am gonna find Whitey's voice and I'm gonna play it into the camera.
It's so bad. It's literally so bad, Tom. It hurt. It hurt my brain. I got a headache.
It's truly terrible.
Truly awful.
This movie does look good though.
What, 8 Crazy Nights?
It looks good.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. Everything I look up is just the song Technical Foul. Go look up Whitey if you're listening to this and you want to hear his voice.
I guess.
It's awful.
It's awful.
Truly awful.
So, yeah. I said I literally can't think of anything that felt literally 4 times as long as it actually was. Maybe running on the treadmill, giving birth. Maybe giving birth.
Yeah.
Although I was knocked out for some of that.
You said that felt shorter than it was.
Yeah, I guess you're right. To not feel
running on a treadmill is a good one.
Running on the treadmill.
Yeah.
Imagine running on the treadmill while watching 8 Crazy Nights.
I would never get off the treadmill because it would.
If someone has an irrational fear of dying and time going by really fast, that's the solution.
Yeah.
I think so. I said I think that this concept is great. It's a classic holiday special animation focused on Hanukkah, which is, I think, a holiday that does not get a lot of attention.
Well, listen. Part of what my takeaways are going to be at the end here are that, like, we need to make more Hanukkah movies so that you don't just have to watch 8 Crazy Nights.
Well, there is,
or more Hanukkah movies that I like. I need to find more Hanukkah movies to watch that are not 8 Crazy Nights.
A movie, but growing up, there was a special that
Was there?
Rugrats.
Oh yeah, that's
Do you remember
true.
the Rugrats Hanukkah special? That was really I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember it being educational and well done.
For the amount of Christmas movies that there are, I would love to see. For every 10 Christmas movies, if we had one Hanukkah movie,
yeah,
that would be great.
Yeah, I agree.
Or 10 Hanukkah movies, but let's just start with one, I guess.
Well, the other thing is 8 Crazy Nights isn't really
No,
about Hanukkah.
It's really not. The only Hanukkah ties are his parents dying on during Hanukkah.
Which I understand is like, then it makes it a specific time in the year that is memorable,
but it has nothing to do with the actual. It could have been on Arbor Day.
Right.
And this is an Arbor Day movie because my parents died on Arbor Day.
Right.
It's not. The other thing is that it takes place during Hanukkah. For example, like Benjamin is like talking about all the gifts he got so far. And third, he mentions the miracle of Hanukkah when the bus breaks down. And we don't know what that is as non-Jews. Like, I'm not Jewish.
Right.
I don't know. I know too little about Hanukkah.
Right.
That I was not clued in on by this movie.
Right. Well, I think that it may be possible that the movie takes place over the 8 nights of Hanukkah.
Yeah, but
that is never mentioned.
It's not conveyed. It's very unclear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I wrote that, I think it's a great concept. I love that it's a holiday movie focused on Hanukkah in the vein of those classic holiday specials. But the screenplay was the worst that I've ever had the displeasure to see on screen.
You think so?
Besides,
there's some really bad screenplays out there.
This one was.
It's up there. It's definitely up there.
Bad.
I don't know if I would make the leap to say the worst one.
Okay. Well,
but it's up. It's definitely in the conversation.
Top 10. Easily.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
We'll have to figure out our top 10 worst screenplays of all time.
Now, I wrote something. Oh, I said that the animation kind of reminds me of Hey Arnold a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
It was like the color shading.
I think it's the colors.
Yeah.
I said here, which it turns out I lied. I said I also can't remember a single song from the movie.
Yeah, no, there's a few.
That's a technical foul.
There's a few bangers actually.
Are there other? But let's face it. Besides technical foul, there aren't many songs.
People love the one from the award thing.
Okay.
The Bum Biddy one.
Okay, but. Overall,
technical foul is the star of the film.
You're not really buying the soundtrack, right?
I don't know.
You're not.
I've never bought it.
No. What other musicals have soundtracks that are super forgettable?
I don't like Into the Woods. I don't remember anything from Into the Woods.
Into the Woods. Yeah. That one's
up there for
me.
me.
The play is good. The movie was bad.
Did not like the movie. Did not see the musical.
Yeah. Sweeney Todd, I did not like.
Sweeney Todd's garbage.
Oh my God, Tom! You can't just say Sweeney Todd's garbage.
Am I gonna get trolled online for that?
I don't know.
Sweeney Todd, garbage.
Okay, what else?
I don't know.
Do you know what is not in this category?
What?
Les Mis. And I'm Javert.
Isn't it Javert?
That's good stuff.
Oh man, that's like the only part I remember. But
Russell Crowe, baby.
Yeah, I actually liked Les Mis though. The movie.
I loved Les Mis. I like most musicals.
I like more musicals than I think I do.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I did not love this musical, and I agree. I didn't love Into the Woods. I didn't love Sweeney Todd.
I kept, and again, I've seen this movie before. I kept forgetting that it was a musical, and then like a song would hit.
Yeah. Do you know what has only hits?
What?
High School Musical.
Okay.
Only hits.
Sure.
And that takes place during the holiday season, I guess.
Does it?
It starts on New Year's.
Oh, wow.
It does. It starts on New Year's Eve.
Wow.
Yeah. That's where they sing Start of Something New.
I get it. Because it's New Year's.
Yep. That's all I've got for questions.
Okay. The Mrs. Nesbitt Identity Crisis Award. Is it Davey or Whitey? It's got to be Whitey.
Yeah.
It's Whitey.
Yeah.
He goes through such a crisis because no one wants to give him this award, even though he's constantly doing things to get it.
Yeah.
What is he without this award? And I guess he finds out at the end he's 35 awards.
Yeah.
But He basically is like he's like cleaning toilets for $1. They're like, oh, why don't you go clean the toilet, old man? And he's like, I'll do it for $1.
It's so pointless.
And then they're like, oh, okay. And then he goes and cleans the toilet.
I just don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand this movie.
And that's when Adam Sandler throws him in, or Davey throws him in the porta potty.
Adam Sandler throws Adam Sandler.
Yes. Okay, so that's the Mrs. Nesbitt Identity Crisis Award. It goes to Whitey Duvall.
Same with the 35th through 1st patch for the Best Citizen Award or whatever.
Oh my God, this is a disaster. Let me see. I'll just do some trivia because that's where I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at on my document right now. I said that all the product placement was done without permission from the companies.
That is funny. And nobody sued?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It's the first PG-13 rated film to receive a Kids' Choice Awards nomination.
That's a great piece of trivia, actually.
Yeah. I don't know what has done it since.
I don't think that will ever be on Jeopardy, but it's just good to know.
It would be a $2,000 question, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
The redheaded bully that's playing basketball against Davy and Benjamin, he's an O'Doyle.
O'Doyle rules.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously a reference to Billy Madison.
Oh, thank you for explaining the joke.
Well, if people didn't listen to our Billy Madison episode and have never seen the movie,
get with it.
I'm explaining to our freaking listeners
to
go back in the archive.
They need to do the work themselves, you know?
I can't spoon feed you people.
That's right. Yeah, we're going to be spoon feeding our own child soon.
Yeah, exactly. This is the only movie. The only movie.
Wait. No, let me try and guess.
You're not going to get it.
Okay, just...
It's the only movie produced by Adam Sandler's Meatball Animation Studio, which housed an animation crew formerly of Warner Brothers and 20th Century Fox.
Well, that's where Iron Giant people came in.
Yes.
So what happened? What happened in the Meatballs?
I think this movie got crapped on so much that...
Wait, I feel kind of bad.
Why?
Because I love 8 Crazy Nights.
That's a technical foul.
I do kind of have a soft spot for the movie, actually.
We love Whitey here on Baby's First Watch List.
We do. No, I don't know if I love Whitey.
The character of Whitey is based on the character Whitey from Adam Sandler's album Stan and Judy's Kid. Apparently, he's like a character on the album. He also appeared in Little Nicky. He was played by Dana Carvey.
Oh.
He was a referee.
There is actually, I'm not going to go into detail on Mike here, but there is someone from my town's history that actually reminds me very much of Whitey. And I'll explain who it is off mic.
Is it somebody I know?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, but I don't even think you know who it is. You actually might know the name, but...
Finally, my final piece of trivia. There wasn't a lot on this movie, which is surprising and not surprising. Davy's parents are voiced by Adam Sandler's parents.
Oh, that's
Stan Sandler
cute.
and Judith Sandler.
His name is Stan Sandler?
Yeah,
I love that. Oh, R.I.P.
This was his only film appearance.
Love.
He died in 2003, and his memory was dedicated in another Adam Sandler film, 50 First Dates.
50 First Dates is one of my favorites. Oh my God, wait.
I love 50 First Dates.
cannot wait till we do 50 First Dates.
We're like already looking forward to our next Sandler. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about technical foul.
That's a technical foul.
So as I mentioned in the plot summary, when Whitey gives Davy a place to live.
Yeah.
He goes through this entire song of basically the rules of the house. Like, don't come in, and you got to respect the people who live there.
Totally fair.
You have to respect Whitey and Eleanor.
And it is true. Everyone has like every family, every household has these weird kind of quirks that
eccentricities.
Like, you're just like, oh, like if you start dating someone and you go and visit them, you're like, whoa. Like I'm sure Tom has been like, a lot.
To this day.
With my family.
No, there are things.
You've
yeah,
adapted.
Of course.
But there are things that I'm sure are a little bit disconcerting, jarring, whatever, that you're not used to.
Or even when you walk into our house and you just get attacked by April and we're just like, well.
You asked for it.
So I'm going to run through these rules with you that they say in the song.
Skipping maybe one or two of them.
Perhaps. And I want to know whether you think they're reasonable.
Okay.
So the first, basically the way the song goes is, for example, if you're coming from the street with dirty shoes on your feet, That's a technical foul.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure.
So that one is fair, right? If you switch to the radio to some modern music show, that's a technical foul.
I don't think that's a technical foul.
You don't think? But even if he has like nowhere else to go and like they're letting him into their house, you're gonna change their radio stations, and that's okay.
Well, it depends.
Okay.
How long are they? Like, yeah, sure.
Okay. If you don't shut the door after using the refrigerator,
I mean,
that's
yeah,
a technical
you should
foul.
probably close that.
If you touch the thermostat, okay, so if you touch the thermostat and that being a technical foul is one thing. If you touch the thermostat, you'll get hit with a bat because that's a technical foul.
I mean, we're pretty copacetic when it comes to the thermostat.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I
I'm
don't
okay
really
with
care.
you moving a degree or two. My parents will go to, like, my mom gets so mad because my dad likes it. Like, he does not like to put on the heat or air conditioning too much.
Yeah.
And my mom is always like, I'll walk in and be like, it's freezing in here.
She'll be in like a
and she'll
parka.
be like, I know.
Okay, so reasonable or not to get hit with a bat for touching the thermostat?
Yeah.
Okay. If your hair clogs the drain, you'll know the meaning of pain because that's a technical foul.
Vibes. Oh my God. When I started shedding
Oh my
after
God.
giving birth, they do tell you this, but like you don't expect it to happen the way it happens. Clumps. Just absolute clumps of hair coming out. Like I would run my fingers through my hair in the shower and it would be like a wig. Like,
You're not lying.
I'm not lying. Like apparently the average person loses 100 hairs per day. It must be times 10 for a pregnant or a previously pregnant person.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's a technical foul.
Just technical foul.
So he says BS, and they say, you have to say bull spit because that's a technical foul.
Okay. Random.
If you don't spray Lysol after moving a bowel, that's a technical foul.
I know some people are very, I mean, I don't care.
Okay.
I don't think that's a technical. Do you think we don't do that?
If you're in somebody else's house.
Girls don't do that.
Right,
but-
exactly. Yeah. So this doesn't really apply to you, I guess. But if you're in somebody else's house and it's available to you, there's like a
Spray
thing,
the
it's
poopery.
like a thing on table. Yeah. So
Okay.
you got to do it.
Well, that's a technical foul.
If you decide to wash your ass with their monogrammed towel, and then they yell at him because they say Heine, that's a technical foul.
Yeah, I'd say so. Okay, that's a technical foul.
If you make fun of their crazy feeties or give sugar cookies to Miss Diabetes because
That's mean. That's
Eleanor
mean.
has diabetes,
That's mean.
that's a technical foul.
Oh, I guess, yeah,
And as Eleanor chimes in, and possibly a homicide.
I don't like joking about that.
I know.
I
That's
don't
the
know why
movie.
they're joking about that.
If you sleep past 3, that's a technical foul.
3 p.m. Yeah, honestly, that is a technical foul in my book.
If you take a whiz in the flowers, that's a technical foul.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
If you use Eleanor's trombone as a bong, that's a technical foul.
Yeah, that's not good.
If you make long distance calls.
That's a technical foul.
Yeah. And finally,
That's not really applicable today.
right. If you laugh at Eleanor when she's not wearing her wig, that's a technical foul.
There's also another one that we're not mentioning that's a little inappropriate.
Correct.
I mean, I don't think that most of their rules are that.
They're not too
bad.
crazy, right?
Yeah, those
mean-
are all technical fouls.
I mean,
for the
maybe
most
you don't get hit with a bat,
Yeah.
but
All right. What do you? All right. So for me.
So no, okay. Can I ask the question?
Yeah.
What are the technical fouls in our house?
Okay. I think that.
If you walk in the door and you don't give April a treat, that's one of them.
That's a technical foul. If you say that our house looks bad. If no, if you break stuff. We are pretty laid back.
Yeah, honestly. Oh, I just stepped on April's foot. Sorry, April.
If you
If you walk in and say, "Hey, your podcast stinks,"
yeah, that's a technical foul. I don't care if you wear your shoes.
or even worse, "Hey, I don't listen to your podcast."
I mean, there's no accounting for taste. But we really don't have many rules.
No, we really don't.
Tom did do a technical foul yesterday. He left the light on upstairs all night.
This isn't about me.
If you don't let me, or if you tell me I'm neurotic for checking the door, the other door, the oven, the basement door, and then doing it again
Like multiple times
a day. That's a
That's
technical foul. How about that one?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is.
You
I
let me do it.
Yeah.
You don't
'Cause
care.
It doesn't. I just leave it alone. You know, it's gonna happen. I'm not gonna bother with it.
Yeah.
It's not worth my time.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it would have been a technical foul.
Exactly.
How about if you try to like do any yard work? That's a technical
Wait, are we
foul.
are we just dumping on me now?
I don't do any yard work.
This is guests. We're talking about guests.
Oh my god, I guess.
It's like, whoa, you haven't run the dishwasher in a few days either. You piece of garbage.
Well, that's all right. Well, how about this? If you walk in and you install our dishwasher,
Oh yeah.
because the front fell off months ago, we've done nothing to get it fixed.
Hopefully by the time this episode drops, we will have the new
That
dishwasher.
we're just taking from my parents.
Yeah.
That's a technical foul. If you get mad at us when we start the Toyota and it's like at 6 a.m. for 5 minutes.
For like 4 months.
That's a technical foul.
I have nothing. I have nothing else for this segment.
That is so stupid. Oh God.
April, are you going or no? No.
Like our Toyota literally it makes the worst noises.
It's a 2010 Toyota Corolla. 11 and like every belt is broken.
Like what's a belt?
Yeah. And guess who has to drive it?
Oh my God.
So
Those
yeah,
are our technical
that's
fouls.
a good list of technical fouls, I would say.
All right, what other questions do you have, Tom?
Not many.
Our dishwasher looks so bad.
I said the most offensive part of Davy's character is that I wrote this in the first like 3 minutes of the movie, so it's definitely wrong. Most offensive part of Davy's character is that he doesn't like potato latkes.
Oh, those are so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a big miss.
That is a major miss.
Common L for our guy Davy.
I agree.
This is also one of at least two that I could think of Sandler movies that starts with him getting arrested.
What's another one?
The Longest Yard.
Oh, I didn't watch
He's
that.
in like a car chase with the police, and then they pull him over, and he gets sent to jail.
Wouldn't it be cool if like there was a crossover between The Longest Yard and Fast and Furious?
Maybe there will be.
And Sandler just appeared?
Listen, don't put it past Vin.
It's family, baby.
Exactly.
Then you got your Iron Giant connection, right?
Oh, yes.
Perfect.
Absolutely. How many basketball movies does Sandler have?
Let's see.
I have 4. I wrote down 4.
He has that new one.
Not necessarily basketball, but that he plays basketball in.
Okay.
I have at least 4.
He's got that one. The new one, Hustle.
Hustle.
You've got Eight Crazy Nights. I think I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry one. Oh no, I'm thinking of Here Comes the Boom when Kevin James. I think he has to hit like a good shot.
Oh, okay.
Well,
he doesn't play, but in Uncut Gems, basketball is a major
very
theme.
important. Okay.
The Longest Yard, he plays against Michael Irvin at the
I
prison.
thought that was football.
No, he plays against Michael Irvin in basketball so that he can get him on the football teams to
Okay.
respect him.
Who's Michael Irvin?
Former Cowboys receiver. He's a Hall of Famer.
Okay.
He plays basketball in Big Daddy, I think, too, with Julian
With
/ Frankenstein. Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the ones that I have. I'm sure there's more. He loves basketball.
He's good at it too, apparently.
My favorite thing about all these movies is that his character is just sick at basketball.
Well, Adam Sandler is apparently very good at
Yeah, I'm sure he's good.
basketball. So why would he make his characters bad?
Because it would play into their personalities.
Absolutely not. I love the idea that
Maybe Howie from Uncut Gems is
he would not be good. But I love the idea that like all of his characters have such flaws. They're not good people a lot of the time, whatever, but they're sick at basketball.
Absolutely.
They're so good at basketball.
They got a crossover, they got a step back 3.
3-point. Woo!
Yeah, exactly. Let me see if I could find Adam Sandler basketball movies. I think only Hustle's going to come up, but
Please tell me that he plays basketball and I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
A brief history of Adam Sandler's lifelong love for basketball. This is just him
Talking
how
about
he
his
got
love
into
for basketball.
Little Nicky. He performs an outrageous half-court dunk on his brother Cassius.
Who's Cassius?
Like another one of the devil's sons.
Oh, okay.
The Longest Yard. Grown Ups.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I've seen Grown Ups. It's a good movie.
Yep.
Is it?
Oh, because they talk about how his game-winning 1978 shot shouldn't have counted.
Ah.
It's like a running joke with them.
Okay.
Grown Ups 2. Shaquille O'Neal is in it as well.
He was like a cop in it, I think.
Yep. Yeah. And then he's got, so that's like 7 or 8 movies that there's basketball in, at least, just right there.
Beautiful theme that runs through the Sandler filmography.
Yeah, and it goes to show that he has creative control over his movies because
I love that.
Yeah, you get your running themes.
I also love how big his shorts are.
Amazing. Why don't you play me off to sleep every night with a trombone solo like Eleanor does to Whitey in the first song?
If you wanted that, don't you worry, I would get it.
So, Whitey to me is like a malevolent spirit.
Why?
I don't know. He feels like he's plucked out of like mythology and dropped into this movie.
It's because of the white fur.
I'm trying to come up with a comparison, but I really can't. Like, I wrote that he's like a poltergeist. He's like Dobby.
He's Dobby?
He's Dobby in this movie. Does that make any sense? No?
No.
Okay, I think that Whitey is like Dobby, and I can't explain it, but he just is.
Maybe he's like supposed to be like a savior figure.
He definitely is. He's like a non. I mean, he's Christian, but like he's like a non-denominational, like sort of like, you know, we're chilling, happy holidays, Merry Christmas sort of Christmas celebrator. He's not like super tied into like Roman Catholicism or Presbyterianism or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He is just a olive branch from the Christian community.
Well, there is a whole thing, right, about this town being both very celebratory of Christmas and Hanukkah sort of equally, right?
Yeah.
Isn't there the two sculptures that are
and outside the like the hall at the end?
Yeah. So if you look at it that way, it's sort of maybe a unification.
But it doesn't make any sense because neither side like represents anything.
Well, that's the whole thing. Like all of these like deep things fall apart.
They're like almost there.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, every Adam Sandler movie I think could be solved with a therapist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone that I've seen, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah, men will
literally
commit a lot of crimes to avoid going to therapy.
Men will literally risk 10 years in prison to not be a recreational basketball referee instead of going to therapy. Yeah. Men will literally throw an old man into a porta potty filled with human feces rather than go to therapy.
It's true. Very true.
Can we talk about Whitey's tux in the last scene? It's like pink.
I thought it was blue.
Was it blue? I'm colorblind.
Oh God! It reminded me.
It was like a powder blue.
Yeah, it reminded me of the Dumb and Dumber tux.
Yes, and he's wearing like a white tie and like a white frilled shirt. Was it white?
Kind of cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Whitey's got it going on.
I want to know where he got that.
Just any store.
Yeah, any store. I don't think any store will fit him in a powder blue.
Like, what about like Oshkosh Bagosh?
We're gonna go with Oshkosh Bagosh. Okay. I love the thing I love about that last scene, and I legitimately love about that last scene is, I'm talking about the scene, the awards scene.
Yeah.
So when they're giving the John Lovitz character the award, the mayor is played by Kevin Nealon, and he's basically from SNL, and he's basically like the rich. He's the mayor, and then John Lovitz is like the rich benefactor who bought the scoreboard for the town.
Which one only has one hand?
Lovitz's character, his left hand is a hook.
Yes.
And part of the last song is Adam Sandler asking if he's ever wiped with the wrong hand. And John Lovitz's character says yes, and he looks at his hook on his hand.
It is just like
the most juvenile.
So stupid.
But yeah, in that scene, the people in the crowd are like going nuts for the stupidest jokes. Like the
Yeah.
most obvious like dad jokes, and like everybody's going nuts. And it's, to me, I found that so actually like poignant
Why?
because these people are just bootlicking the rich and the powerful.
Yeah.
And this is a clear state. Obviously, this is an intended statement.
Yeah.
And like, it's like everybody who is left on Twitter and Elon Musk replies. Those are the people that are in Elon Musk's replies. That's the people that are retruthing certain people on Truth Social.
Yeah.
But it's such a funny a little piece of this movie that is like a really fun commentary that is just totally lost in like deer pooping all over the ground.
Yeah. I know. And that's kind of like, I just feel like that's not necessarily where Adam Sandler's strengths lie with his movies.
What isn't?
Like trying to make these points. I think that his strengths lie in secretly having heart in his movies. And so when you've got the juvenile humor, it's kind of undercut in a positive way by like the heart in it. This didn't have that.
No, and it had too much juvenile humor.
Exactly. So I think that, and it tried to kind of shoehorn that in, and it didn't work.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is because it's animated, and because Sandler and his team thought that they could go further
Right.
with what they were doing,
right?
because it's animated and you're not, picking on real people and things like that. And it totally did not land.
Right.
But I would say that and this is like, let alone the ableism and racism and the seizure jokes and all that. Like, this is even outside of all that. I think if I could give Adam Sandler a do-over for one movie that I've seen, this is the one.
I think it could be really good.
I think there's a good movie in here somewhere.
I love that.
I think if he knew, too, that, again, he made this movie 20 years ago. It's the 20th anniversary. Right? This was 2002?
I think it is, yeah.
I think if he knew that 20 years later, there still wouldn't be, like, a defining Hanukkah movie, and he knew that he could make one that would, like, endure, I think that he's a little bit more older now. He's been in some different stuff. He's been in, a little bit more serious stuff. He was in Punch Drunk Love the same year as this, which was like a more mature type of movie that the Sandlers didn't like. He's been in Uncut Gems. He did Hustle, is a little bit more mature than a lot of his other stuff. I would like to think that he would put together a solid, watchable movie with those stupid juvenile jokes, but pared back a little bit.
That celebrates Hanukkah and Jewish traditions.
I think that Adam Sandler is a good artist.
I do too. Art is super subjective, so maybe 8 Crazy Nights just, belongs in a different room of the Louvre than we like to spend our time.
Yeah. 8 Crazy Nights is not good. But there is a version of 8 Crazy Nights in some alternate universe that I think is a defining Hanukkah movie.
I love that.
Not this one, though.
Unfortunately not. One too many deer pooping.
Yeah. So I just have a little bit more on... this is actually a decent segue into the Roger Ebert review.
King.
Which, we don't need to sing his praises any more than we do every single episode. He gave this movie 2 stars out of 4, but his review did not read like a 2 star out of 4.
I think maybe he
review.
just sees the potential like you did.
Maybe. So he begins by saying, "Heaven help the unsuspecting families who wander into Adam Sandler's 8 Crazy Nights expecting a jolly animated holiday fun fest."
Yeah.
Like, really.
It truly is not a happy movie. It's not jovial.
Even at the end. It ends on a seizure.
Yeah. It is kind of dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't write down I didn't take the entire review, but there's a bunch of like little pieces here that, of course, we're Ebert heads, so we appreciate his thoughts on things. He said, "If this is not a family film, what is it? Well, the audiences for Jackass may enjoy a scene where Davey, the hero, slams a sweet little old man into a porta potty and shoves it down a hill."
Now, we did just watch Jackass Forever the other day. I laughed myself sick.
It's great.
It's so funny.
"When the geezer emerges at the bottom, he is still alive, but covered from head to toe with excrement.
He's so funny. Roger Ebert is so funny.
Then Davey sprays him with a garden hose, and he freezes solid. Ho, ho." He goes on a little bit later to say, "If there was ever a movie where the upbeat ending feels like a cop-out, this is the one."
I just like...
It's so shoehorned in.
Whoever said that critics aren't artists show them that review.
I know, he's the best.
He's the best.
I can understand why Sandler might want to venture into South Park territory which was new at the time.
Yeah.
With a raunchy animated cartoon, but not why he links it to Christmas and Hanukkah. The advertising will inevitably use holiday images, and in the minds of most people, those images will not suggest a film this angry and vulgar.
Yeah.
There is also an odd disconnect between Sandler's pride in his Jewishness, which is admirable, and his willingness to display the obnoxious behavior of this particular Jewish character to an audience that may not get the point. That point is, I think, that Davey has lost his way through alcoholism and antisocial neurosis, and is finally redeemed by the elfish saints Whitey and Eleanor, plus the beneficial side effects of working with the basketball team. All well and good, but the movie lingers on the scatological stuff and adds the happy ending as if paying its dues. Did it occur to Sandler that he could touch his bases and make his points in a film that was not quite so offensive, that was in fact sweet and cheerful and family-friendly? Considering that his popularity and this movie's holiday packaging will attract large numbers of teenage middle Americans not necessarily familiar with Jews, does he think that this is a good way to get them started? Which is a good point. He went on to say that, I have argued that the requirement that ethnic groups must present positive images of themselves in the movies is not, he doesn't really believe in that necessarily. He said, I've defended Justin Lin's Better Luck Tomorrow with its criminal Chinese American teenagers, and Chris Ayres' Skins with its portrait of alcoholics and vigilantes on an Indian reservation, and Tim Story's Barbershop with its free-for-all African American dialogue. But those films are positioned to reach audiences that will understand them, decode them as their directors hoped they would. Won't Adam Sandler's 8 Crazy Nights attract an audience for reasons that have nothing to do with the material? What are people who want to see an Adam Sandler movie going to take home from this one? His most recent film, Punch Drunk Love, was not well received by Sandler fans. I heard from readers appalled by the way his audience responded to the film because people loved it. How can someone in the dark of a movie theater tell his audience from themselves easily? The giveaway is inappropriate laughter, especially during serious moments. So this is sort of the opposite of that, where like the people that he wants to be laughing at this movie may be coming into this movie trying to gain a lesson from it. And instead they're getting the reverse of that.
Right.
And then finally he says, Sandler has painted himself into a corner. His comedies have included generous amounts of antisocial hostility, sudden violence, dodgy material about urination, defecation, and flatulence, and a general air of defiance. A lot of people like that, but they are not the type of people likely to understand the Hanukkah message in 8 Crazy Nights, and those who appreciate the message are likely to be horrified by a lot of the other material in the film. What Sandler has made here is a movie for neither audience.
It's an interesting perspective for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that was like half of his review. He went in on 8 Crazy Nights.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I he's totally right that this movie is for nobody.
Yeah.
Like it totally misses both marks.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, it's 8 Crazy Nights, baby.
8 Crazy Nights. What do you want?
What do you want to say?
What do you want?
I think that's pretty much it. Well, we talked a little bit about the food. The only food thing I remembered was that Eleanor's eating a corn dog at the ice rink.
Yeah.
And I read that the ice rink stand was not selling corn dogs.
That's
So she like brought her own from somewhere. That's all I've got for food.
That's funny.
And then you mentioned earlier the spaghetti, meatballs, and French fries thing at the mall.
Yeah, where Adam Sandler spills them out and says, "Bite me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the fries. Yeah. They land in.
Yeah, in that configuration.
That's part of the Sandler universe magical realism.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, and so is the deer following around Whitey. That's another example of the Sandler magical realism.
Sandler filmography. Yeah. Of
Yeah.
course.
All right, so here's the question we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
Does 8 Crazy Nights make Baby's first watch list?
Yeah.
Of course it does.
Of course it does. With the caveat of like, okay, listen, we're going to have to talk about some of these problems in the movie.
It's not like we're going to be like, oh, this is a great movie. You have to watch 8 Crazy Nights. It's because, for me, I think I said this when we talked about this beforehand. This movie... So this is one of my takeaways. Quality movies and media, music, whatever, TV shows are relative. So, yeah. So one of my takeaways is that quality movies and, music, TV shows, experiences are relative.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
For something to be good, something else has to be bad to make that comparison. Without 8 Crazy Nights, there can be no Citizen Kane.
Mhm.
This is what poor filmmaking is. And I think that one of the things that we can impart to our child is that if you ever considered writing a screenplay or even just being empathetic to people in general, look at this movie and learn what not to do.
Mm.
There is such a lack of empathy in this movie. It is insane.
I kind of have a different takeaway.
Okay, I have 3 takeaways. So,
Okay, go with your other 2.
well, my one was like, please push for more Hanukkah movies.
Yeah.
And also everything Davey does, do the opposite. Also, everything Rob Schneider does in real life, do the opposite.
Facts. My takeaway is this. I think that there is something to be said.
Oh, also the animation's beautiful. That's another takeaway.
That's beautiful. I do think, though, that it is important to show to our son and any other future children that, you know, just because a movie isn't your favorite or for you or whatever doesn't mean that it's not special to someone. I am sure that over the past 20 years, there have been many young Jewish men that
Or
have-
not even necessarily Jewish
not
men.
even, but like that found themselves represented in some way, shape, or form
Right.
here, and they love that is in
There
a
is-
like gross comedy
Yeah.
that also celebrates in some way their heritage and their religion. I kind of like that. Like
Someone somewhere.
someone somewhere
Reach out to us.
really identifies with this movie, and I think that's super cool.
Yeah, okay. That's a fair takeaway.
Right? I like that.
You're getting better at this after not having any for the last like 5 episodes.
My other ones, but 8 Crazy Nights, I am like, this piece of art is so special. But really, it is like, I just can think about like, you know, a kid that is maybe, you know, different from others. Maybe
Yeah.
not because he's Jewish, but just in, you know,
Yeah, well, I mean,
anyway, and they find that this movie they can identify with one of the characters, with Whitey, and
I mean, especially in a time now where there's like a lot of anti-Semitism and a lot of sort of exclusion of Jew. Not that there always hasn't been, because there always sort of has been, but yeah, I can see that. I can see that perspective on it too.
it's great that, you know, one of the best known comedic actors of our time is celebrating his love of Hanukkah.
But just remember, without 8 Crazy Nights, there can be no Citizen Kane.
I do wish that 8 Crazy Nights was a better written movie.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate the celebratory nature, and even if the movie itself is a little dark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's pretty much all I've got on 8 Crazy Nights.
Gorge.
So next week, we are going to be covering National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh.
It's our second John Hughes movie, which he either wrote or directed or both, in just a few weeks after Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Mm-hmm.
And this one stars Chevy Chase, Beverly D'Angelo, Juliette Lewis, Johnny Galecki, Randy Quaid, and many, many more.
So many.
Most importantly, we're going to have a co-star next week. We have our second guest coming
Yeah.
on, and it's going to be Aaron's dad.
Grandpa Phil, aka Sir.
Sir.
He wants to go by Sir.
Yeah,
he
so
loves Christmas Vacation. It's like his favorite movie.
Sir will be here.
Besides Daddy's Home too.
And Elf and Christmas Story. Those are the 4 horsemen of Christmas.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's what's going to be happening next week.
It's gonna be so fun.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is on HBO Max. So go watch it if you haven't, or refresh your memory or whatever. And yeah, you know, follow us everywhere at Baby's First Watchlist. Leave comments, good comments. Leave 5-star reviews. Do the whole thing. Smash the subscribe button.
And don't forget, buy those Christmas shoes.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever that means. All right. See you later.